Wrote the first one, or welcome to organised rhyme for anyone who's a newcomer. This is really exciting. This is my final organised rhyme before I go away travelling, so you're going to be having to put up with quite a lot of me tonight. Unfortunately, Phil, one of the co-organisers, isn't able to make it this evening, so I'm going to dedicate my first set to Phil. He asked me to read a poem, his favourite Sylvia Plath poem, and she's my favourite author. It's called Tulips. Tulips. The tulips are too excitable. It is winter in here. Look how white everything is, how quiet, how snowed in. I am learning peacefulness, lying by myself quietly. As the light lies on these white walls, this bed, these hands, I am nobody. I am nothing to do with explosions. I've given up my name and my day clothes to the nurses, and my history to the anaesthetist, and my body to the surgeons. They propped up my head between the pillow and the sheet cuff, like an eye between two white lids that will not shut. Stupid pupil. It has to take everything in. The nurses pass and pass, they are no trouble. They pass the way girls pass in land with white caps, doing things with their hands. One just the same as another, so it's impossible to tell how many there are. My body is a pebble to them. They tend it as water tends a pebble. It must run over, smoothing them gently. They bring me numbness in their bright needles. They bring me sleep. Now I have lost myself. I am sick of baggage. My patent leather overnight case like a black pillbox. My husband and children smiling out of the family photo. Their smiles catch onto my skin, little smiling hooks. I have let things slip. The 30-year-old cargo boat stubbornly hanging onto my name and address. They have swabbed me clear of my loving association, scared and bare on the green plastic pillow trolley. I watch my tea set, my bureaus of linen, my books sink out of sight. The water went over my head. I am a nun now. I have never been so pure. I didn't want any flowers. I only wanted to lie there with my hands turned up and be utterly empty. How free it is. You have no idea how free. The peacefulness is so big it dazes you. It asks nothing. A name tag, a few trinkets. Is what the dead close on finally. I imagine them shutting their mouths on it like a communion tablet. The tulips are too red in the first place. They hurt me. Even through the gift paper, I can hear them breathe, lightly through their white swaddlings like an awful baby. Their redness talks to my wounds, it corresponds. They are subtle. They seem to float, like they weigh me down, upsetting me with their sudden tongues and their colour. A dozen red lead sinkers around my neck. Nobody watched me before, but now I'm watched. The tulips turn to me. The window behind me, where once daylight slowly widens and thins, and I see myself flat, ridiculous. A cut paper shadow between the eyes of the sun and the eyes of the tulip, and I have no face. I wanted to efface myself. The vivid tulips eat my oxygen. Before they came, the air was calm enough, coming and going, breath by breath, without any fuss. But then the tulips filled it up like a loud noise, and now the air snags and eddies around them the way a river snags and eddies around sunken rust-red engines. They concentrate my attention. That was a happy playing, resting without committing itself. The walls also seem to be warming themselves. The tulips should be behind bars like dangerous animals. They are opening like the mouth of some great African cat. I'm aware of my heart. It opens and closes. Its bowl is a red bloom out of sheer love for me. The water I taste is warm and salt like the sea, and it comes from a country as far away as hell. Yeah! So that one was for Phil, and this one is for me. This is also Sylvia Plath, and this is the last poem that she ever wrote. I think it's really powerful, slightly shorter than the last one. Edge. The woman is perfected. Her dead body wears the smile of accomplishment. The illusion of a Greek necessity flows in the scrolls of her toga. Her bare feet seem to be saying, "We have come so far. It is over." Each dead child coiled a white serpent, one at each little pitcher of milk, now empty. She has folded them back into her body as petals of a rose close when the garden stiffens and the odour bleeds from the sweet, deep throats of the night flower. The moon has nothing to be sad about, staring from her hood of bone. She is used to this sort of thing. Her blacks crackle and drag. So we're nearly done with our journey along with Sylvia Plath, but now I've got my own poem which I've written, which is called Sylvia Plath. Sylvia Plath. Your daddy issues ooze out of your poetry like burgundy blood from a wound. The blood flood is a flood of love, using writing as a form of fighting your demons. Your words are too red in the first place, they hurt me, resonating too deeply within me for me to read comfortably. I read your lines of half rhymes and uneven meter only to discover spider-like you spin mirrors loyal to my image. I, nearly extinct, ache to make you better, but dying is an art like everything else you did it exceptionally well. The woman is perfected. Her dead body wears the smile of accomplishment. It's a somber mood to start things off, but I'm sure the next fantastic poet may have something in store which may lighten the mood a little. So it's with kind regards that I'm going to hand over next to Mohammed. Maybe not a lighter mood.
Thank you. I'm going to do a kind of song type poem, but I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I don't know if anybody else is catching whatever's going around. Yeah, I blame the kids, but okay. This one's called "My Life Is a Mirage." My life is a mirage, oh, oh, oh. 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 I keep walking through the land, I'm searching for the real. My mind is a barrage, oh, oh, oh. These images I see, I know I'll never feel. Sifting through the drift to find a grain of truth, something to uplift. It's hanging in suspense, caught up in a swirl. Everything upends in this overturning world of the hourglass, watching each piece timelessly pass. The substance of my visions is a promise in the distance. There's traces of an oasis, but my hope's lost its glimmer. The heat waves simmer in the air. My face is a visage, oh, oh, oh. There's no recognition of the state I have become. I'm lost in camouflage, oh, oh, oh. I'm just a bit of dust, me and the sand are one. On the barren dune, seems the winds are strange, change is coming soon. Nothing staying still, the world is all adrift. I don't have time to kill. Man, these sands can really shift. Gotta plot a course, find a water route, tap into the source. I'm straying, I'm starving, I'm praying for a garden. I'm breaking and I'm forsaken, 'cause the snake-side windings making waves in the sand lines. Vultures flying, making life out of dying, and all my self-worth's just there lying in the dirt. There's no solidity, thinking what to do. My knowledge is in deeds. But all I thought I knew, it suddenly recedes. Where's my guidance? What's my goal again? I see truth hiding right behind every grain. What was once mountainous just crumbled into dust. My life is a mirage, oh, oh, oh. My life is a mirage, oh, oh, oh. My life is a mirage, oh, oh, oh. My life is a mirage.
Sorry for sniffing.
Incredible music number there from Mohammed. That was great. Thank you very much. So next up on our set list this evening, we're treated to a new poet to perform with organised rhyme. This is Minty Taylor.
Hello, everyone. So I've heard it said before that the best time to make any decision or do anything is both when you've had nearly 2 whole drinks and when you need a piss. This is a poem called GCSE. I once met a crackhead named Tim. Each sentence he spoke rhymed. How'd you fucking do it, Tim? Thank you. This is a poem that is my way of advocating for universal basic income. It's called On Being a Barman. My manager said you must be kind to people, even if it's obvious that they are fucking evil. And you must brush your teeth, you must brush your beard with a toothbrush each morning, and never leave work until the sun started dawning. You must pour a pint with a pie on your head while using your feet to butter brown bread, clean everything while making more mess, maintain masculinity while wearing a dress, never offer a fly an entrance to soup, use blueberries as bog roll when having a poop, and you must make sure you know everyone's age. And for all of this, we'll pay you minimum wage. This is a poem about God. It's called We're All Chicken Wings, I reckon. The truth is, I'm not one for truth. Though it's an interest, it's of no use. Science seduces a very sad sod who creates a fate much worse than the noose. And despite indifference or devotion, life will just move in a cyclical motion. So I'll sit in the heat and create my own God, marinating myself in suntan lotion. Thank you. Okay, I have one more. This is a poem about the man in the world who I hate more than probably anyone else. His name's Anthony. Can be shortened. This is a poem called More Corrosive Than Irritant. I have never found disagreement. On this, I have never been so sure that though it may only be impeachment, there must be justice for the victims of that war. Yet still you smile and wank over your wit in rooms of cunts who are willing to pay for the chance to hear you talk while they sit forgetting your murders of yesterday. And millions of us marched as we would again, and still we died for you to aid your career. We were lied to and we were told we were stronger with pens. Now you will die old in your sleep, comfortable. Thank you.
There's a cracking debut there from Minty Taylor with his satirical, incredible poetry. I just want to take a quick moment to remind you all we are drinking in a gallery, so if we could all be very careful of our drinks, it would be most appreciated. Also, if you do need to leave at any point, just let the person at the door know so that we can make sure there's a note on your name and you can get back in. So, to follow on from that, we have Connor Jordan up next.
Hi everyone, I'm going to read some poems. Yeah, I do. Mary Magdalene loves to drink cheap wine. She likes him because he could get it as easy as water. He's her sugar daddy rum dealer, not this red rage table-turning preacher. He says he sees her in ways no one's ever seen her, but he only likes her because she reminded him of his mother. If his mother had gotten out more when she was younger, not pregnant from the first man to not touch her, a life lived with more than 1.5 lovers would have been a life more like this bloody Mary. Magdalene did no wrong to him. She walked on water, calmed the storms in his mind, those magic hands working wonders. She never asked about the fling with Jairus' daughter. He never asked about the 7 that still seemed to haunt her. And haunt her they did, almost as much as his garden ghost. Oh, Magdalene, you loved the story before it was cool, and you vanished when he left, yet you are so less recognised. Your name only as common as the hours on a clock. Your time ran thin, Mary, beloved Magdalene. The rumours were not kind, and neither was he. Thank you. Lots of my poems are about God, so I'm trying to mix it up with ones which aren't. So here's one which isn't. It's all a bit sad now. People are all a bit sad now. They're slow playing music in the background and someone's put a small American flag in an empty beer glass because we're all a bit sad now. That bloke's in the White House, so it's all a bit sad now. He's not actually there yet, but of course he will be, and it's all a bit sad now. People are protesting in the streets, burning effigies, saying it should have been her, or possibly Harambe. Either way, it's all a bit sad now. Everyone's a racist, so we're all a bit sad now, or everyone's a rapist, so it's all a bit sad now. 42% of women are now pro-rape, so all women are a bit sad now. And maybe that's not the case, but of course that's not what we will say, so tell me what to say and how not to behave in a world that's very sad now. This one is about God. Write to me, O God, with the endless hands and the clumsy fingers, who demanded stone hallways and lead slate spires, whose occasional PR slips create wars and slaves and dead children, their grey ash-painted skin scattered across the road like hail after a storm. O God, who is so powerful and so good and so painfully stupid, a toddler with a hand grenade thrown like a snowball, and whose parents have yet to teach him the meaning of fairness, but brought him an ant farm to teach him responsibility, only to find it shattered on the floor in a screaming tantrum, the ants dead beneath his stubby little feet. Write to me, O God, of crayons and finger paints, or pin it to the fridge with a magnet, or frame it on a wall to make you feel good about yourself. Not quite Picasso, is he? No, but he tries, and it's good to encourage creativity, although we get rid of the ones with too much blood in them. Oh God, if you have aged, you have done so poorly. A ranting, rambling teenager with half-cooked stories that shouldn't convince anyone. You're still doodling in your schoolbook instead of learning anything. Nothing ever changes with you, does it? So write to me, oh God, who left this world fucked, raw and flawed, and we're fucked each morning we woke into it. Another one of your damaged drawings, framed by proud parents who ignore the terror you created. Thank you. It like powering through that we get through it. Yeah. It's all. No, read that one. Found it. Yeah, got it. Can you please scream at me a soft word that feels warm when held at arm's length? And can you scratch out the last lines I said to those who don't quite touch near enough the same lanes to hear the new ones? Are Are we dust in a printing press? Are we ice in a morgue? Are we repetition at its most abusable? Am I heading to your house or to the bar? Is it 3:30 or have the clock stopped? Are my habits dirty or does it make me interesting? Am I mystical or just shallow-ended? Can you tell I'm not quite in touch with myself, or am I lying for the hell of it? Can't we be more than strangers? Or would that be stranger than silence in a room full of relatives? This is all relative. The plot isn't delicate and it's not very good. It wasn't written by God. We weren't witnessed by God. And we were alone in your room, and if he wants to watch, let him. The dirty old pervert needs his kicks from somewhere, and I love a good kicking. Thank you. So it's the penultimate one, and I'll be done. That's how it works. This man, the priest, sits in shame and watches a screen where another priest stands mumbling. He's desperately trying to make up for God's voice stumbling. Your words rhyming don't mean nothing, so don't bother. Don't spin for Mother Superior. Don't jump the gun. Don't jump the gun. This man, the priest, thinks to himself, the booth has to be different. This confession needs to be heard. Because lucky ones can still speak. The halls don't stand for much these days, and the roads stand for worse, so it's time to confess to all that happened here in hallowed closet doors. My whiskey-sipping teacher, lisping preacher, what will you teach her? When the children speak, covered by the house of Peter, can't you hear them calling? Quoted then as whispers louder than Jericho, your walls need tearing down, just let them. Peter denied enough already, so sign a confession. We get the girl from the Haribo advert in, but he's not allowed that close to kids. Thank you. We ran from the asylum no more than 16 days ago. We ran from the asylum, but we never hurt a soul. But the news said we were mad. They said that we were dangerous. They might as well have said that these people are not people, so treat them as you wish. We ran from the asylum that we never called a home, and we ran from the asylum so that we could be alone, and we never heard the voices, and we never said with God, but we were mad enough to ask for help, and so they locked us up. Thank you.
Well, that was incredible. I feel like I don't need to go to church this week. Up next, we have a very talented and very good friend of mine. I can't wait to hear him on the mic tonight. He's been on the mic at the previous organised rhyme as a rapper, but now he's arriving as a poet. The one, the only fantastical Bo Townsend!
Hello everyone. Oh. Yeah, usually I don't do poems, so I thought I'd basically recite one of my more personal tunes, but a cappella. Probably shouldn't have picked up the microphone, but... Right, this one's laying stuck in life's limbo, daydreaming at night, I get a feeling inside that something ain't quite right. I can't decide which path to follow and what to do in life, and now as more time is borrowed, these clues cloud my sight. I'm laying stuck in life's limbo, daydreaming at night. I got this feeling inside that something ain't quite right. I can't decide which path to follow and now what to do in life. And as more time has borrowed, all these clues cloud my sight. You see, at school I was aimless, my ambition dissipated. I could have been creative, but my concentration, it was wasted. On lunchtime sedated, never present for lessons, spending more time in detention, smoked out like blowing engines. They told me I was bright, but they never answered my questions. They kicked me out of class, that only harboured my resentment. So when I left school with 1 C and 2 Ds, I realised all my mistakes and that my future looked bleak. You see, I knew I wasn't stupid, I just let myself down. Acting the class clown high as fuck, joking around. So it was City College retakes and off to study art, but yet 3 years in, could hardly be asked. Until my father passed, and that tore my heart apart. As when I vowed to find my path, making proud and make my mark. It's when life gets dark that you grow up fast. Your perspective is enhanced when the Grim Reaper's marched. At good times, it can only ever last so long. When the world crashes down around you, you must stay strong. Never bottle up the pain and it will cause you to combust. And if you're down, have a heart-to-heart with someone you trust. Express how you're feeling, don't let Mount Anguish erupt. Don't give another lie on heavy drugs as a crutch. That's why I started writing. I was jotting down my thoughts, just carving out a mark with that double-edged sword. And hopeless and homeless, sleeping on my mates' sofas, at least I have my friends in my darkest of moments. Then came the YMCA, which I thought that I'd hate. I didn't realise I'd meet so many rappers in that place. 2013, I made a lot of mates, and I big up to nowadays, now there's too many to name. And some might drift away, some might leave me betrayed, but I'm sending out my love till it might be too late. I'm laying stuck in life's limbo, they dreaming at night with that. Feeling inside, something ain't quite right. I can't decide which path to follow and what to do in life, and as more time is borrowed, these clues crowd my sight. Banana moon jams, they were the training ground where I first learned to make music and my passion was found. I'm still drowned in nostalgia when I think of them days. I lost my first rhyme book and I can't remember a page. And I was off at Norwich, I finished college, got my level 3. I guess special effects next and try to get a degree. But as the first year flies by, I'm slacking on my units. Final mark almost representing me as if I'm useless. Same mistake, handing on work, I'm finished and late. Distracted by a love of music that I just can't escape. Then March the 28th, 2014, Sam O'Leary passed away who had been there for me. And the best I could do was say R.I.P. And every day I'll send my love to all his friends and family. You see, when something tragic happens, it brings people closer. Sandstorms at time blind the sun, and winter feels much colder. Now as I grow older, there's so much I want to see and do. Travel around with my girlfriend and learn to play the blues. But second year at uni's meant to Southampton, I was glued. And my love for writing rhymes had been left unpursued. I hardly ever freestyled, that's drunk enough to fuck up. Living out of practice like I was living out of touch. And some say, but hang on, wait, you're still young. I've learnt that time flies quicker every setting of the sun. And still my vision's clouded like the smoke in my lungs. I just want to know I did what I could when it could be done. When confronted with a challenge, I didn't turn my back and run. I had to write this song twice. I didn't save, and that was dumb. But I'll let you all know now that I ain't giving up. I've got plenty more rhymes, and this is just the crust. Time for a shorter one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a double set.
Yeah! This one's about Native Americans in the land of America, and basically along the lines of what happened there. There was once a promised land, rich in resources, until its blood became drained, bottled and exported. I ain't talking about oil, but a continent tortured, and indigenous people now are legal citizens to be deported. And I'll state historical facts with incredible force, with more power than the Spanish conquistadors. You see, the Aztecs, Incas, they had never seen a horse. Metal men on steeds they believed were their gods in full force. Destruction was born, all this Christianity had spawned. In the name of the Lord it was hell they brought forth. The Navajo, Cheyenne, the souls of the soil, were residents of the continent, raped, ravaged and spoiled. The hand that fashioned the land, it made man prove its surroundings. You see, he once lived naturally among the forests and flowers, and every plant had its purpose, a disease that helped to cure it, and there was reassurance if you had a dream you could pursue it. But many were misguided, corrupting their vision, embraced a wicked decision, or did the natives in prison. They outlawed their traditions, handed down through generations, but they survived slavery and genocide and invasion. I communicate the spirits are my source of inspiration. I chant incantations elevating my imagination. The Great Spirit is the father to accompany the mother, but we don't respect the earth, we leave this atmosphere smothered. Through chemical concoctions of petrol and burning rubber, it seems the human race only destroy whatever they discover.
That was an incredible performance there by Bo. Another organised rhyme newcomer tonight. We're very excited to hear you up on stage.
Hello everyone, I've got a few poems for you all. Big boys do not cry, my father said to me, and nor do they suffer. Instead, when the teacups shatter and it's all tits up, unsafe to walk in flip-flops, a big boy tries 2 fingers up to some invented enemy, dancing fuckery next to the pretty little thing who's just a bit too good for him, half lost, half demented, whispering obscenities into her ear, hoping she finds all of them offensive. There is no why, my father said. There is no reason for you to cry. There is no plan for where we go. There is no system that will show how the faces they will change from gorgeous to grey. There is no one to whom we pray as we are frozen in the dirt, noble savages of earth. 2 fingers in the pink, mind numb from clear drink. Oh, it will blind us as her kisses. They will reach a Negro heart that has no interest in the nuance between what's light and what's dark. I need to learn to keep my eyes open when I dance. Thank you. This next one's called Comprehensive. Lisa May, the host of all our house parties, went vegan at Stonehenge and now only does sustainably sourced cocaine. And I'm afraid the boy whose face we forced into the mud might just become the next Tony Blair. The first 2 girls I ever kissed are pregnant. A lot has changed since Comprehensive. The footballers all lost their legs. See, they were just pretty faces after all. Legends of the bar crawl, called in sick lest withdrawal proved too much for a 9 to 5. The teacher who spewed science and lies went blind mind. We weren't there to mock him. A lot has changed since Comprehensive. The would-be rebels flock to the city in pretty suits. It's no compromise, they're just there to pass the time. Besides, money is inspiring, and a lot has changed since Comprehensive. Thank you. Crip walking on lily whites, walked in too well dressed to a piss up, higher than Popeye in the spinach, can't speak proper English. We pained because universal credit won't sustain us, politicking from a safe distance, but if it gets too kinky or dangerous, our safe word is neoliberalism, because men lie, women lie, but even if some good ones die, we'll be told they were no angel. Besides, it was all worth it for 3 kilos of basmati rice and some fresh kicks to march down burning streets in chanting Free Mandela in 2011 to all those who will listen. The accused and the victims are we, jaw-swinging, breath-smelling, or peppermint and sugar-free, asking how is somebody supposed to be so lovely in this economy? We yelling bogies and hardly politely in the faces of all that was before we and all that we will ruin. We, thank you. I've got 2 more. Make me happy, make me happy, make me happy, make me happy, make me happy. My London dry gin wit wets the top of your lip and evaporates like festival piss. Lost in semantics with a mouthful of stale spit. My name has had a squiggly red line under it since Windows 98. The indent in my skull suggests you narrate my story as one of innate pain. Bojangles born again, christened with long words and 7 names mispronounced, hung limp by gold chains to be displayed as the Tate's most current edition of multiculturalism in the UK. I am the unaborted silence, the truth, the life beside himself, devil departed. In my words, I am the son of man, I am etc., etc. I am tired, so just make me happy, make me happy, make me happy. And this last one, thank you very much, is called Links Africa. Links Africa, £2.49 from your local retailer for that exotic pop-bellied Ethiopian kid aesthetic. Buy one, get a swift frisk with it, quick ticket to the back of the line, plus a side dish of chicken wings. Wash it down with a stiff drink, no tonic with this coloured shit. Play it cool for a minute till it's too hot in the tanning booth, but you can't wash off what you don't mimic, and the chains won't rust no matter how hard you bless the rains down in Africa. The thick-lipped face in the mirror's unfamiliar. You want it now, you've got it. Signed a receipt with your slave name, nigger. Thank you very much.
Diego with mesmerising delivery. That was absolutely incredible. So that comes to our first break. We're going to take 10 minutes. Go and have yourself a cigarette and a drink. But some people will fill in the gaps in between. So to come back, I'm going to start you off with my favourite one-line poem. It's the only poem I know of by heart. This one's called Single Entendre. No petting in the swimming pool, please. I'm going to follow it up by this one, and I'm going to show you what I drew it on, so that you know a bit more about what it's about. It's called Mi distierdo. You make me desire you in an empty, unfinished way. come back to me every time I need you. Without ever needing you, you kill me. This one I wrote to Phil, and I sent it under his door, and it's called A Poem Sent Under a Locked Door. Call me what you will, I too am broken, simply shards, another half-truth human, swept into being someone I hate. Fake portrayals take over, smoke and mirrors, just illusions, delusions for the others to consume. I am nothing but a mirror. I reflect back what you want to see, whoever you are, you're just like me, at least that's what I lead you to believe. This next one I wrote for my degree. I did an English degree, and this one is called Rosaline, and it's about Rosaline from Romeo and Juliet. And if you don't know about her, have a little listen to the poem, and then I'll do a bit of an explanation afterwards. Oh Romeo, Romeo, where did our love go? In one breath you profess I'm your fair Diana. You claim breathlessly that my coldness is cruelty. Jove laughs at the pedestal you erect for me. In your next breath, you confess your love for unfair Venus, a sly trap. You lap up her bitter, sweet nectar. If what goes up must come down, you put me at heavenly heights, only to plummet me into a living hell. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Perhaps if she were Juliet called, though still a Capulet, she would retain my sweet perfection. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Perhaps if I had been more strange and less cunning, you would not have sworn your love for me by the inconstant moon. It hit me, as the blind baby apparently struck you stupid, that you were trying to disguise your lust as love under Hymen's guise. You are your own Cupid, whose arrowhead is ill-fated and adulterated. I kept my maidenhead uncontaminated, and you took my cousin's pretty piece of flesh instead. The blood you spilled as a newlywed was not just your lover. My brother's blood stained your marriage bed. Oh, brawling love. Oh, loving hate. I cannot fathom the mess your feral heart would create. But I thank my stars I missed that fate, for there is a story of far greater woe than the forgotten Rosaline by Romeo. I don't think it needs much explanation in hindsight. This one I wrote in an ashram in India. It's quite a short poem. Hot wax drips down the candle, mirroring the sweat as it drips down my neck, chanting Om 3 times, reaching the higher consciousness. Mosquito bites. Thank you very much. So that's going to be me leading you into this next set. You're going to hear more from me later. Sorry about that, guys. And following on from me, I'm going to be completely eclipsed by the wonderful talent that was shown at the first organised Rhyme. We got a mention in the incredible review that we got, and I'm very excited to welcome him back to the stage. The second very talented Townsend of the night. This is Jamie Townsend!
Thank you all. It's nice to be back again. A little bit nervous again. Right, these first few are quite short and sweet, to the point. The last couple are going to be a bit longer. The titles sort of explain what they're all about as well. Right, this one's first called Conscience. I walk in your shadow, yet I guide your every step. We're the oldest of friends, even though we've never met. I make the judgments that you cannot. I remind of past transgressions, thought forgot. A shoulder to always cry on, an ear to always listen, yet sometimes I have to trap you in a moral prison. I'm the yin to your yang, the plus to your minus. I'm the piece inside that helps define us. Every coin has 2 sides, every beginning has an end. Anything broken with me, you can mend. We are one of the same, 2 parts to a whole. You are the substance that birthed my soul. This next one's called Judged. It's just about sort of, you shouldn't really judge others by what they look like, and sometimes what it feels like to be judged for what you look like.
Right, look a little closer. My looks can deceive. My first impressions may mislead. I'm not just an open book you can pick up and read. I'm a puzzle encrypted. Nothing I do is ever scripted. So delve a little deeper, have a peek inside. You may actually like what you come to find. I like to go against the grain, pretending to be part of the system, but not really playing their game. I guess in some eyes I'm a strange, twisted social freak, but in others I'm an individual whose personality is unique. This one's called Taking Power from the People. The fortunate few look upon this world with rose-tinted eyes, money and influence in endless supply. Elitist societies hide in plain view, puppet politicians spout their false truths. Wars rage not on the streets but through the internet and the power of free speech. They silent the outspoken, they amplify their lies. Through the mainstream media, they fool us right before our eyes. So don't believe all you see or listen to all you're told. Don't be afraid to act differently and break their social mold. Right, a couple get a little bit more sort of deeper and heavier, a little bit longer as well. Right, this one's called Life's Ups and Downs. Do you ever get that feeling like you've been hit round the head with a bat made of shit? One day life's all sunny moods and bright thoughts, the next it's dark depressing and you feel out of sorts. So when others get manic, the first thing they do is reach for the Prozac. Not me, I fight back and skin up with a herbal attack. Chillax, calm down, turn the negativity around. Focus on all the good instead of the bad, because what's the point in being sad? In those moments of solitary confinement, trapped inside the well of my own mind, I search desperately for those secrets I just can't seem to find. Like, why is life a series of happy ups and sad downs? One moment everything's going your way, it's like you wake up to the sounds of the birds singing your name. You get out on the right side of bed, spiritually buzzed for the day ahead, but by the time the sun sets, you've been knocked all around. Stressful blow after blow, as you're feeling low, Now it's time to retreat back home, find your place of comfort, surround yourself with water, who makes you happy, and recharge your positive vibe. For if the leech of depression does attach itself to you, it can be like a cancer that infects your heart and consumes any piece of joy or love that you manage to find in life until it's all gone and you cease to exist in the physical and spiritual realm. I think I've got time for one more. This last one's called Selfish. Keep yourself numb not to feel the pain, never at fault, always someone else to blame. When faced with a truth, you'd rather convince yourself it's a lie. When you get hurt, it's an eye for an eye. You always put yourself first before considering the feelings of others. Don't you know what it's like to have sisters or brothers? Stepping on the heads of your peers, if it promised your happiness, you would swim through their tears. It doesn't matter what anyone else wants. If friends or family come begging, you have no response. If in a disaster it ensured you'd survive, you wouldn't hesitate to throw women and children aside. You love yourself more than anybody ever will. If it's you or them, you would surely kill. You've never given or shared, only ever received. If I told you life could be different, would you even believe? Well, that's it for me tonight. Thanks a lot. Good luck to the next person.
What an awesome follow-up performance, and he is killing it and probably well in his way to become house poet.
Okay, so I have two poems tonight. This is called Bastard Incarnate. O guardian archalian, thee walk upon the earth of mystery. When gazed upon your face firstly, the earth stood still before me. You had this knowingly similar unfamiliarity about thee. Staring, the wandering man, rocking back and forth towards his walls of madness, kissing his stones and statues of shallow righteousness. Worship and insanity unify, linked in visual familiarness. Rituals and prophetic words spoken, built on purpose preach forgiveness. Spoken by man and slaved by hand, as God is alleged to forbid the individual spraying pineal brand. You don't understand the power of your chants, so you bow down your heads and press together your palms. Blindly ask your higher leader what can be done. Why is this all part of his divine plan? Meanwhile, the war wages on. Oh, the identity of irony is found here in this mass moral mess. A opposing beliefs and borders of lands designed to segregate all fellow man. All this bloodshed, for all this unshakable sacredness, man, where is your togetherness? All I see are ill-informed unitons in uniform, finding illusions in ill-drawn conclusions. Minds, bodies and beliefs working against one another, but bound together in formation of time. Your brothers and sisters, for your hurry-hungered haste you failed to see the general case. Destroying beasts, man and foreign lands, killing all on this earth for the answers to thy mystery, when the answers to thy questions have always lain hidden inwardly. The second one's called Soul. There will come a day when the moon and sun I see will be replaced with space stretching infinitely, with cosmic swells full of land, stars and trees, waterfalls, sounds and seas. But I won't be there anymore, my vessel bound there forevermore, my essence part of the ether that's flying further on. Levitating in boundless time, with all knowledge I hold in mind, staring at the creator and the created that flows together in perfect unison. Watching waves of particles making separate articles of us all. The continuum continues on to each of us all, set to forget this after each and every one. The circle of life collides with time and winds back on through a portal of light that in time portrays all that you could ever find. And right now, in this moment, I know that I belong. Then a voice in the back of me says, you'll be back around somewhere and we will meet again, when you come and join in back this end. Next time I pray you stay with me, where there's no obstacles of ourselves to defend. For now I see, so true and so clearly, there is no journey's end.
Didn't she smash it, guys? Yeah. So we're carrying on with the feminine streak, and we're going to welcome up a new person to organised rhyme again. We love having these newcomers in, and if any of you are sat here thinking, do you know what? That looks a little bit like it's fun. Let's sign up. Come and do this next time. It is actually a little bit fun. Yeah. I am. Thank you so much for giving me a slot, like last minute and stuff.
Can we close the door so we can hear, please?
Close the door. Hiya, I'm Ella. I don't think I've seen any of your faces before, so this is me. This first poem I wrote when I was on holiday last year in Croatia, and I was just waiting for a drink at the bar, and I'll just go into the poem like this, and a guy comes up to me and just goes, "You're definitely a 10. He chuckles, smirks at me like a butch Cheshire cat, eyes like a hungry rat looking for its next meal. Perhaps I am the catch of the day, the ideal, a girl in mascara, a bodycon bralette and heels. He can see the smooth skin of my back. This means I am his to touch and bring back and shove down his pants like the pink picken mix he nicked at 6 years old from Woolworths. To him, this is a sport. I am now the answer to a mathematical equation, a mark on a quiz paper, a sign on a black door, a 10. Surely this is what every girl should be striving for. Each atom that has bounced around to form this body, each year I have lived through, each person, place, smile, frown and hobby has led me here, to you, and your perfectly calculated price tag. I should put this on my CV. Who needs brains when I've got a face and a case of 10? The gatekeepers, the men, will be happy with just this 10. Wish I hadn't bothered with A-levels, or learning at all, in fact. All I need is a modelling contract. But then I wonder if I would still be this number if I had not filled in my eyebrows or painted on my lips. What if he found out that I didn't use waxing strips? And would I perhaps be a 9, 10 years down the line, my tits no longer so perky, skin no longer so smooth? By then, I hope we may live in a world that teaches young girls to value their minds over their flat bellies, thigh gaps, bums for boys to grab at, and nipples. Nipples they can only compare to the ones on pawn shelves or page 3, out just for men to stare at, use, scrunch up and toss in the bin. Thank you. Thank you. I performed that poem. I created like a subgenre of poetry called po-rantry. And I think that one definitely comes under that subgenre of just me trying to constructively rant through verse. Let me know if it works. The next one I've never ever performed before, and I don't like reading things generally, because I just fuck up most of the time and I can't read like off a page when I'm performing. And it's called The Skin of Your Lips. I wonder if you still pull the skin off your lips between the tips of your teeth. How you used to suck them in, gnaw and chew until a trickle of blood seeped through. They were cracked, blistered. But when I reached for the balm, you always refused, tearing off skin so calm like picking off scabs that forever grew back, identical. It was like this you would touch me, openly, compulsively, stroke my bare skin, scratch my leg, pull me inside you, where I could confide in you, where I could hide in you. But you would only pull me in to somehow tear me off, like you were the light, I the moth. I can't begin to finish writing about you because I feel like when I do, you will stop existing. Like when I put pen to paper, you were there quietly listening and I will find the rest of the paper. I feel like when you were there, you were quietly listening. That's not the right page. Why did I not prepare this? Oh yeah, sorry. Like when I put pen to paper, you are there quietly listening. And I am taken back to the times I was reflected in your eyes, bathing in water like it was our christening. Words of praise ridden between the bubbles, soaked, absorbed into my pores. You informing me of how special I was or how special we could be, knowing how easily to turn a girl silly with glee. It was written in law for you, carved into the stones that taught men how to woo. It was trying to confirm something as fact that you already knew to be untrue. What a perfect little brief contradiction we were. You watered my roots, trod on my buds and still bade me bloom, alone in a darkened room. Lying next to you, alone in a darkened room. Each thing done to me by you was a cracked reflection of all you could not face up to. You may be sharp, smart and raw, but all your self-diagnosed definitions mean nothing. Nothing if you cannot find someone worth embodying them for. But still, I wonder if you tear the skin off your lips between the tips of your teeth. Or even if you have lips at all, or what they could now possibly be used for other than having something to bite into, of course. But the teeth that do it cannot be mine. The bruises you blackened will fade in time. There are still wounds I plaster to forbid you from prodding. Because I know you could still do it, compulsively, satisfyingly, like pulling the skin off your lips between the tips of your teeth. Thank you. Sorry for the fuck up. I really, in case you haven't seen this paper, I really stupidly, I was like, I want to perform this poem, but I don't have it written, I don't want to bring my massive notepad, so I'm just going to rip it out without realising that I can't find where the pages are meant to be because it's no longer in a notepad. I'm going to do 2 more, is that alright? Cool. It's fine apparently. This next poem is inspired by my best mate from back home.
And I performed it for a show I did for Brighton Fringe, and I was really nervous about her coming to see it because I was like, shit, she's never heard this poem before, and it's quite like descriptive about her life. But afterwards she just full on did not notice it was about her, so absolutely golden. And now I do it all the time. I'm like, she doesn't know, it's fine. It's called Lashes and Powder. Here, plate, he says. Trust me, he says. It's so much smoother. As if I should relate, as I continue to contemplate him handing her a fiver, whilst he takes his 20, laughs and rolls with ease. Soon she may pile up these printed pieces of paper to spend and roll and spend on many forgotten nights. He will choose a plastic bag of white mist over drying her tears, tears that roll from eyes he called beautiful. He saw them light up as he said this, her at the height of lust, infatuated by a man with experience on his belt, hair on his chin, who can be blissful for a few hours on a Sunday morning. But really a boy, for nothing much has changed since those late nights, crying on hard floors, clutching at torn straws, white dots painted everywhere, watching a different pair roll and spend those printed pieces of paper they should have saved for the bike or scooter he never learnt. He was taught that love started with this finely ground sugar, the sweetest flavour of his being he would now pass on to her, for surely he was in love. He took her money and her bed to sustain a life already dead. Work to waste, drink to taste the next craving, a hazy mess of slurs and eyes wide open yet not really seeing, their blind spots exaggerated, together yet isolated, the mind reflecting and distorting each one. He is reaching, slowly crawling towards her, quietly takes his first steps into her dreams. Now he is running, pounding at each entrance to her brain, each vessel heightened. He can almost get to her. But how can he tell if she was the drug that tripled his heart rate? Or if it was just the strong batch and that heated plate? Thank you. If you're talking for time, I don't. I won't ramble before. This is called tearing off. I can't even remember what it's called. I'll just go on. Once one is gone, she's forced to move on. A remedy, a rave. Drowning under heavy night lights, rubbing and swaying the night away, as this man is scouting something to lift his heavy day. Her, yes, her on the dance floor. She's with a couple of guys. I'm sure he saw her smiling as they touched her bum. Why should he be denied a bit of fun? Grabs her by the arm, demands they dance. When she says no, his hands have nowhere to go. So he shoves back, spits some curses, blames it on her short skirts. I can hear him dub her a whore, and spits some more as she heads out the door. Now all I can do is smile. Hands are under the table as I tear off each pointy fingernail. She seemed to be over all the commotion, walking, talking, laughing, hiding tears under powder, going home with another unknown. At least it's better than being alone. Because it's not even sex she wants. Of this she's sure. Just someone to stop her thinking about the one before, the one who only left her wanting more and more and My hands are under the table as I tear off each pointy fingernail. He's alone at the bar, can't bring himself to go back to that same stale sofa. Tosses the lime in the bin as he necks the last gin. He knows what he wants, doesn't know where to begin. Gets up from the stool, paces through town, wind blowing flat cap off sticky hair, smelling chip hitters in the air. He sees her stumbling. That same girl over there, just over there. Pretty blonde hair, pretty fair blonde hair. Now, a punch, a kick, for him was never much of a sin, just as long as it kept his masculinity intact. Sex for him was never a sin. Sex for her seemed to turn her name black. But this was not even sex for her. 1 foot bare, wet, cold, as tears drop next to an overflowing dustbin on a side street by Asda. What a price to pay for turning him away. Fingernails all ripped off, I walk home. I pick up a single high heel off the side of the road. Cinderella must be late back from the ball. But no, I've seen it before. In fact, I think I was there when it was bought. I give her a call. Answer phone kicks in. And as I carry her shoe through town, cars beep, engines growl. A city never sleeps and someone is always on the prowl. Thank you so much. Interested in spending an extra £2 tonight and want to read some more poetry? I'm selling poetry pamphlets. So.
That's really great. Is anybody else who's performing got anything else to sell? Anybody? Anyone got any albums or EPs or anything that needs? By whose? Marshall Miyagi's album on Bandcamp. And that's actually a fabulous lead-in, guys, because guess who coming up is Marshall Miyagi.
Cheers, thank you for that announcement. Really nice. As I said last time, if you feel like cheering during any of my performance, that'd be good, because this makes me feel weird. Load of people in a silent room. I'm used to being on a mic in front of loads of people, everyone go Wah! But yeah, that's more like it, right. So this first one is about not being scared of death, and why there's no reason to be scared of death. A couple of explanations before I start. I use the word bleu, as in the French word for blue, as a sign of endearment. Are you alright, mate? Are you alright, bleu? Yeah, bleu! The next one is, I've got an alter ego called Naughty Boy Roger, who appears when I get drunk or do drugs. And I've been trying to avoid him for quite a few years now, so yeah, here we go. All work and no play makes Marshy a dull blur. Colder, it's never over for a soldier who's so overt it's covert. 6 feet in the dirt. Had to murder Naughty Boy Rog from inside of me. I only go out when hanging from a tree. It's going down like a Led Zeppelin C. Organised rhyme, got it on lock with skeleton keys. Yeah! Leave me dead as a doornail at death's door. Live my life one day at a time, but what's more? I use the wisdom of every ancestor. Life's a musical funeral director. Yeah! I used to take shots to the head at bars. Now my bars hit you so hard you start seeing stars. Yeah! Sleep with fishes, my dogs are reservoirs. My respiratory skills ill like I've got SARS. Yeah! What you say from your esophagus manifests into consciousness and consequence. So resuscitate the world with your breath. It's time to wake these zombies from the rest. You can't kill my soul, so burn my flesh. Not worried about what's ahead, we're already dead. The only way to true confidence, you live your life when you know you're already dead. I already killed you with my lyrics, but I can never kill your spirit. You can't kill energy, that's just physics. So I use that against critics and cynics. They said Norwich poetry's outlined in chalk. We learnt how to fly, you learnt how to walk. Let's carve up some pigs, grab me my fork, but I doubt mine's gonna end up in pork. But we're all one, there is no opposing force. Just ashes to ashes, dust to dust, of course. Your third eye, die while alive to open yours, will live forever. So what are you worrying for? Live your life to the max and you'll be Take life for a ride and you'll be crazy free, with no limit to your bravery. Time is no longer my slavery. Pain is my strength, free Stephen Avery. What you say from your esophagus manifests into consciousness and consequence. So resuscitate the world with your breath. You can't kill my soul, so burn your flesh. The only way to true confidence, you live your life when you know you're already dead. When you get home, look up Stephen Avery, because he needs to be free. He didn't commit any murders or anything, but he's still locked up. And look up the people at Guantanamo Bay as well, because they've been on food strike for years, and it doesn't even get reported about anymore, because apparently it's not in our interests. So, right, and this... Right, anyway, carrying on. This next one is about animals. Does anyone love animals in here? Yeah. Yeah, basically, I love animals just as much as I love humans, and we're destroying the earth, and it's all a load of bollocks, basically. And basically, this is called Room for an Elephant, for that reason, because I think the real elephant in the room is the people destroying our rainforests and depleting our natural resources. So here we go. Naturally, my life's been submerged in rhymes. Marshy, the marine mammal on the climb. I use the coast as my coaster. No motor, but a motorboat make Mother Nature. When I land on land, with coastlines planned, rhymes engraved in granite, freeze the sand. I'm not washed up, I'm as deep as oceans. My rhymes get your motor in motion. I want to see more seaports, not PC ports. Opportunity never knocks on doors when you're indoors. So get outdoors. I'm the Earth's core, the four core elements. Your sediment, our global warming with hard evidence. After shark fins are sold by a president. Spying isn't intelligence. Not everyone's dying to be relevant. I put my head on the seabed, magnificent. Coast to coast, any room for an elephant? Fuck the chocolate, we need to pick up the penguins. Endangered because of shit you're putting in your engines. Deforestation affecting populations. Concentration camps, enslavement, no adaptation. I put my head on the seabed, magnificent. Coast to coast, any room for an elephant? World's laws need changing, deadline imminent. If you're in prison and innocent, would be understandable for you to attack. I'd only go to zoos to take animals back. Greed and the need to consume, that's the real elephant in the room. My bird beautiful like ivory-billed woodpeckers might chip away some chips on your shoulders. I chip away their logics, cavities, by showing how humanity's caused tragedies. They're cutting down trees till we got no air to breathe, destroying the rainforest cause they're ugly underneath. Paper parks as useful as paper planes. They take the lion's share cause they won't complain. Plus they don't give a fuck like they're celibate, counting past 100 foul elephants. I put my head on the seabed, magnificent. Coast to coast, any room for an elephant? Fuck the chocolate, we need to pick up the penguins. Endangered because of shit you're putting in your engines. Deforestation, affecting populations. Concentration camps, enslavement, no adaptation. I put my head on the seabed, magnificent. Coast to coast, any room for an elephant? Thank you. I was true about the elephants. 100,000 of them have been killed in recent years. We need to stop it. Peace. Bloco, bloco, bloco.
Thank you so much for that enigmatic performance, Marsh. We argue everybody. So we're now leading into our second break of the evening. There's another 10 minutes. Some people are into the poetry piles, and should you require to exit because hip-hop is just a little too exciting for you, 8 till 1 at the Rumsey Wells. So I'm going to start off with a poem while everybody's coming in, because Clearly not everybody sat down yet, but this one was originally written to be said over a Jam Baxter beat, but I'm going to do it a cappella. This one is Survival of the Prettiest. I don't mind that everyone's talking over me, because, hell, I'm used to it. Don't judge a book by its cover, we're told, but also don't be too fat, or too thin, or too old. Privilege is bestowed on those with the most symmetrical faces, in genetic poker being dealt a handful of aces, but it's far from a game. If you want fortune and fame, female celebrities are making their names based on their face and their body, or their sex tape. What things for our society to celebrate? They command, do not be shallow and do not be vain, but also demand, do not be ugly and do not be plain. For added confidence, pull out your eyebrow hairs one by one. Everybody cares if you leave hair there, along with hairs under arms or on the legs. Rip them out with wax strips to conform to the norm. Everybody cares if you leave hair there. Learning leering is a compliment, and catcalling is a compliment, and rape is a compliment you ought to take graciously when you have space to see being a pretty woman's reality. I've been the fat girl, the plus-size porn that men laugh at with their friends after fucking. I've been the prize golden tagine that earns men a high five and a reprise feminist plans with their lads after fucking. The only difference was my weight. I waited for people to see my inner beauty, and I hated that clearly it was only visible when it matched my surface. A few thrown lost, and the albatross and shame of having curves is gone. Only when angular am I able to be loved, or even allow me to love myself, selfishly forbidden from fat, unpreened women who must hate themselves from letting themselves go. Go where exactly? Where has a woman gone when she has let herself go? Into the ether of people other people don't want to know because it's survival of the prettiest, disguised behind lies of not caring. Be humble, be modest, but take selfies and plaster them all over Facebook. Just remember not to look too interested in how you look. People won't judge you like the cover of a book, but they will judge you on how you look on Facebook before a job interview, and funnily I got invited to more of those when I was thinner too. And got more jobs accepted. I suppose I look less lazy when I've starved myself for the occasion. It's survival of the fittest, and only the thin survive, free from mockery and drudgery, and just generally being alive is easier if you're pretty. Pretty lucky for you. Appreciate the face and body you were given. Love it, and love all other women's because we are one. Stop the judgments cast on each other like dark magic. We need to turn to light and smother each other in body confidence and positivity, instead of losing your mind to fit in a red dress. Help find your inner love. Help address the issue of beauty being unattainable perfection. Start loving your stretch marks and all your imperfections. They are the making, or what makes you, you. So we're going to get a little bit personal now since I'm going away. And these are some poems that I've never read to my friends or family. Would be reality. You are my husband at a wedding which I'll now never have. You are the daddy of children I will now never bear. You are my soulmate for an eternity which can never be, a parallel life lived with you and me. And I ache and I pain and I weep and I moan as I mourn respectfully at the funeral of us. Dressed in black, laying fresh flowers at our headstone, I detest looking back. Even worse is the haunting ghost of what could have been. Our aborted relationship, all our halted dreams. And I feel myself unravel and I hear myself scream as the fresh, hot tears form another sad, salty stream. And I ache and I pain and I weep and I moan as I forge a new life now completely alone. Well, you can wait for me to come back from Peru for this one, because that one's pretty badass. I'm going to have to lead on to the next poet now, as we are lacking in time and we want to get up in the hip-hop part of things. So, I'm going to lead over to Mohammed for the final poet reading of the evening, and then we're going to move the chairs Move the chairs out of the way. We're going to change the vibe right up. We're going to bring a beatboxer in. We're going to start a hip hop cipher. So get excited and introduce Mohammed.
Evening. I've been working on a hip hop version of Macbeth. I'm calling it Macbeef. So what I did a couple of scenes at the last thing, and I'm going to do 2 soliloquies. I don't know how well people know the play, but he's out to assassinate the king. His wife has put him up to assassinating the king, and he has second thoughts and he starts doubting the whole scheme, and then she kind of bitch slaps him into it, and then he sets his mind to it, and there's no stopping him. So I'm going to combine 2 soliloquies that are in the play, and one's just before, basically the king's at his place, they're having a party, all getting drunk and stuff, and he's in a back room just thinking, I can't do this. And then, like I say, his wife puts him up to it, and then later on he goes to assassinate the king. So you'll see the 2 soliloquies, doubting the whole thing, and then the famous one of, is this a dagger I see? And it's a pretty dark play, so it's kind of cross between a political play and a horror story. And so if we could kill the lights. If done when it is done, the be all, the end all, project what's to come. Judgment and punishment, for bloody instructions, plague those who invent, when it all returns. Even-handed justice commends a poisonous chalice's ingredients to our own lips. I'm in double-check trust. His subject, his host. I ought to keep the door to his murderers closed. The king's high rank and angelic virtue. Damn any man who's planning a coup like a baby in a bombshell. Cherub in Chernobyl, this blast broadcast the deed to full view. I've no spur, no urge to hurry this through. I've gone beyond control. What's new?
Yeah!
The idea is that this would be a complete darkness, so.
Who said that?
Huh?
Bit closer to the mic.
Testing, 1, 2, do
That's a
what
good
you want to.
distance.
Do
Perfect.
you do what you want to? Okay. Is this a dagger I see before me? Handle in my hand, can my clutch be as much to touch as such to vision, or just a process of mental incision, as tangible to sense as instruments I draw? You marshal me the way, partial to the door. My eyes are made fools, the tools without doubt, on the blade about the handle, gouts of blood spout. Nature seems dead in this hemisphere. This bloody business makes this appear. Thick and sleep seems deceived by wicked dreams, celebrating mysteries of sickened schemes. Murder moves through a spook to design, guided by the wolf who howls the watch time. Sure said earth don't clock the way I walk. If steps are heard, rocks beneath talk. Take terror from the time. He lives while I threat. Deeds bring the heat. These words are cold breath. So I'll go by the bell. It's the death knell, summoning a king to heaven, to hell.
Yeah!
Thanks a lot. It's gonna be grander on, you know, on the big stage and stuff, Royal Opera House and stuff. Okay, that's everything. Yeah, thank you very much.
Guys, can I just have a little? Can I just have a little speech? Right, it's been absolutely amazing just listening to everybody spit what they have to say. And it's been strange for me because all the noises that I normally spit are absolutely stupid and they have nothing to do with what everybody else wants to say.
There must be more MCs than
it
this.
definitely is
He's up
something
here,
to
man.
do with tonight, and I'm going to help everybody say what they want to say. So I hope
Still come before.
that
Give me a
everybody
song
standing
sheet.
here is listening.
Give me one of your song sheets.
And you have a cigarette hanging from your mouth. Are you listening to me? The can. Nah. Yeah, are you listening? Yeah, I'm going to give it some so we hear what's going on, so we hear a bit of a sound check. Yeah, does this sound good? I'm not fucking about. You can't just take the cigarette off it. That's his cigarette.
Give it back.
Respect.
Big up Jade every time.
Yeah. Right, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? Is everybody listening? I am going to make a different beat for everybody that wants to spit a rhyme. And if you want to spit a rhyme, I hope you better spit something meaningful.
Give me a slow one this time. Last time I was like,
And
the whole time.
And it's so funny because it just so happens that I've got a drummer. Go on, geezer. Spit a beat.
Yo, wait a minute. What's the drummer's name? What's your name? Big up Elliot. Yeah. Big up Monkey. Yeah. Yeah. So now you've got to do a really good job for us guys. Yeah. We did you a set of imagination.
I think the thing is,
kick it.
Elliot comes before the beatboxer. So, yeah, you do. So he's gonna perform the hip hop beat, and you guys
So
are
it just
gonna.
starts.
You guys are gonna
You're boring.
host it. Let's do it.
Yo, let's get it started. Never half-hearted. Yeah, I died out with all the money. I ain't being funny. I'm rhyming till it's no longer sunny. Or the sun rise up, sun up to sundown. One thing I say, put your guns down. I'll never put my tongue down. I'll just get you lifted. Prolific geezer that is making the plates of the earth shifted. Gifted with this freestyle. In the meanwhile, people trying to be like, wow. Wow, why you doing that? Why you screaming that? Why you be the scheming cat? Because I'm feeling rap. A rap is rap and poetry. Yeah, you know it's me, you know the dopamine. Raise the dopamine in your brain while I remain raw like cocaine. I throw that shit straight down the drain. Nowadays, while I blaze like 160 million centigrade. Yeah, you know how I play. I score like a footballer, but I'm not a dribbler. Shot caller, yeah, you're a baller. Way that I can kick it, so wicked. Straight off the brain, straight off the dome. When I grab the microphone and the vocal tone, never drone. Now somebody please start. Why I'm onto a whole different planet. Yeah, I eat like a gannet, especially when it comes to rhymes. I'm 10 times brighter than the sunshine. Big up to these kids the one time, cause he's actually dancing while I'm advancing. Looks like it's when I can be boy move. Got nothing to prove while I abuse the whole different laws of gravity. When I magically be a catastrophe, actually bringing raw savagery organically. Might pass the microphone to the right so Harry can spin it all night, well tight.
Looking at Norfolk's Hardy. Mashi Miyaga-san. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Yo, in the industry we call it a beat curse, yeah? If you're about to freestyle listening to a beat and it stops,
Do we have
that's
the
a beat
sound man
curse.
on there?
Big up the drummer. Big up Marshy. Yeah. Who's over the blue blue drinking the fruit juice? Who's over the blue blue drinking the fruit juice? Who's over the blue blue drinking the fruit juice? Who's over the blue blue drinking the fruit juice? Big up Pete the sound man. Yeah.
Alright guys, literally, hang in with us. Here, do you want to hold this?
Yeah.
And this stream. Right, hang on with us. It's the first time this has happened. A little bit of drumming.
Don't do any
this
selfies.
guy, pick up this guy.
Big up
It's the
Elliot.
first time he's come
Make
here.
some noise for Elliot.
Right, so blatantly, like, hang on, right, we're gonna start this from a very simple beat.
Right, just a minute, I reckon.
Let's start this from a very simple beat.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna add something.
So yeah.
And then we can add some lyrics.
I think, Elliot, you should start the beat so we can spit on it like hip-hop beat. Then Monkey, you add all those noises and
so a little bit of bass.
All of you make movements, yeah, and we'll do words. Yeah, this is both.
Yeah, we need to work out something.
Yeah, right, so it goes, Elliot, Pete, give us a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So your responsibility is drums. Your responsibility is beats.
That's it.
We've got
Let's
12
work
minutes.
something out, Jake.
12 minutes.
Beats and bass. Kick a bass.
Is everyone up for
Simple
making
beats
this
and bass.
next
Go on.
12 minutes better than the last 3 hours? Yeah! Yeah! Rosie, Pete! Yo! Yeah! Tantric! Yeah! Yo, yeah, remember the deja voodoo, feeling way past cuckoo. No fruit and just awareness I wasn't used to. I was returned to myself, and I'm high off that more than anything else. You could say, I can't remember the words I was trying to say, so I have to slip into a freestyle phrase. It's okay for me, baby. Yeah, we go off the top blatantly. This is the EA. Okay, with a heat wave. Yeah, don't give me a CK, I might misbehave. Yeah, I might decompose. Yeah, I might forget what I wrote. Yo, murder she wrote. I did the sound check, I got off my head. This is my day off. I always play boss. I never play porn. Yo, I don't even watch porn. I just fuck broads. And I smoke more. You already heard it before. Beaufort County. I've never had a bounty. I don't like cocoa nuts. Try to be cocoa nutty. Yo, I hang out with Bucky. I just rhyme off the top. Harry Buckley. Can't call me a numpty, cause I don't give a monkeys. Yeah, I just rap, sometimes I sing. Yo, I always bring pure vibes. The barman is inside. Yo, serve us drinks. Where the hell is Jarvis? I think he went to get a burger. Norfolk's hardest. Yo, so I heard her. Yo, yo, yo. Make some noise for Elliot, the drum man. We got the fucking barman on the beats.
Is everyone listening? Right, I'm gonna have to take control.
Oh, you need something quick.
Right, no, hang on 1 second. You 1 second. And Selman, are you still there? Literally, the Selman is my best friend right now. And I'm gonna have to literally take control so we can all actually make a sound. No, stop it. Everybody just listen.
Everybody listen!
So I can literally make a beat, and you can make a beat, and everybody can just join in. Right? Shh. I'm gonna drum. Alright, you see.
Little white boy in the
You as well. Right, basically, what's gonna happen is we're gonna have one very simple drum beat. One very simple. Yeah, no, that's cool. Can you keep that? No, can we keep that? No, that's fine. I will get to the drum bass and to everybody else. Right, but the first thing is everybody up for being a little bit patient? Just... Yo, don't speed up, just keep it like that.
Come on, the magic can come on the floor like D&B is in my soul. Even though I'm short, too quick.
Stop it. Listen, don't get so excited. Keep spitting it.
Yo, when I roll, then I go, then I come down the throat. When I lick off the show, like, yo, did it roll? Freestyle, top off the dome like roll. Then I lick it off, man, I roll, then I roll. Little white youth on the bitch, do what I do. Kick it off, man, I kick a flick. Man, I did it how I did it, man, I lick it how I lick it. Roll, then I roll, man, I flip it and I flip it. Esky, one mic like roll, man, I did it how I did it, man, I roll to the skull. Best MC in the building like roll. Did it how I did it, man, I roll, then I roll like Esky. Man, I roll, then I roll. Did it how I did it, then I roll, like jump. Man, I said jump. Man, I said jump. Did it how I did it, man, I rolled and I did it. Little white you in the building, man, I did it. Freestyle, did it how I did it, man, I did it. Wrote my bars, forgot what I said, did it, man,
Yeah, pass it on. Everybody else, jump along.
Pick apart the brain, leave the grey matter moralised. Spit into a wailing wall where my mind is centralised. Sitting out the air, swinging spirits and the angels cry. Cover-ups, destruct the sky, this little white light. Women in the singing stars, paralysed and tie-dye. For a silver satin cup, a drug abuse and fly-dye. Fly-by, harder than your flesh drive. Watch me while I creep inside, present the dark side of the mind. It's regular, I see it's right. Sitting in a single point, running down and rocking out. Welcome to the countryside, organized. What we taking, rush and blind. Growing things are colonized, leading us to colonize. Someone calls me show me and I think I'm coming down again. Celebrate tales to all the simple sinners, scared guess. When you have a heart of God, then I'll give the rest, I guess. Tell your soul away today and put a camera to my head. I move swift, wanna lay down the lyric, I bring that raw hip hop. I don't rely on the game, is spinning. More than other power when describe my vision. I be hitting the harmonies of my mind. 10 buddies passing, I be kicking. Penny decks to keep up. Oh man, keep it up. Yeah. Yo, I move swift, wanna let in a lyric, I bring that raw hip hop, I don't rely on the game, it's spinning. More than other power to describe my vision. I be hitting the harmonies of my mind to bear bars and I'm kicking. Penny decks to get from one place to the next. Thomas is the essence and I'm regular, but I'm betting jet. I took the flex, to pass it when it's spinning sweet. Taking the week, looking past on the decision, he was dead quick. Hardcore rapper, shut up, we still blow up candles. I don't show these dead, that's my name, be Bruce Campbell. Bringing enough flow to rehydrate sand and soul. But just like a hit in the gut when the friend they be low. Bring that beat. I bring that beat.
Sicker than the bigger man, fucking get the off my nose and sniff a gram. Printers like dogs won't read from a bit of ham. Had to figure that the habit staying red like the Indians. TPs and liver wax. Give it back, we smoking a bit of crack and bitches that running with the rules on tail, bridging back, kicking raps. Woo! See, I don't really give a crap. My styles are sacred antiques for yours to drink back. The cheek had the cheek to go with eyes for a nigga's back. More taste in my mouth, do a dance, lick a snatch like. I let the snacks take you. And if the chick can take a finger, she can take it too. Now every girl got issues like what they've been through. Now here have I spit so while I spit with you. Say the proof is in the pudding and the pudding is proof. What used to be tight is now fucking loose. You might catch me and I might cry. Driven by Barker, killing in hell with the devil in Prada. Spare or kill, but what would you rather? I'm dishing out blood, but it does seem harder. I don't wanna hate from a barrel of a scrape, so let's all get smacked, cause to me that sounds great. Who am I, where am I, what is my fate? Don't give me mouth, cause to me it ain't play.
Yo, bare feedback, you know I don't need that. I sleep rap, yeah, wake up, spit another rhyme for another time. Soon as I see the sunshine, sublime. I'm not into some crime, I'm not into it at all. Yeah, I just ball the hardest, spit retarded. Big up to Jarvis, see me jump in the TARDIS. Where is Jarvis? Yeah, I'm never half pissed or at all, because nowadays I don't fall. I just rise up, push up your lighter. Yeah, I see inside the things that they couldn't see. Yeah, I see shit in 3D, like way more realistic than HD 3D. Be the third eye, and that's inside of me. So that leads to my sobriety. I never leave quietly, bring the riot G. Anyway you see it in live with me, you'll never be conniving me. I'll be passing it to my man B. Bobby B, Bobby B.
I don't give a shit about shit like